The galaxy died in whispers, not with the roar of supernovas or the clash of mighty fleets, but with a creeping, insidious silence that swallowed stars whole. They were called the Void Weavers, and their arrival was heralded by the slow, agonizing blink of distant suns. One moment, a vibrant nebula pulsed with cosmic light. The next, it was a gaping maw of absolute black, a wound in the fabric of existence. Their ships, if they could even be called that, were not vessels of metal and energy, but constructs of pure shadow, absorbing all light, all warmth, all hope. They left behind not wreckage, but nothing. A perfect, chilling void where life had once thrived. Grand Admiral Valerius, his ancient, scaled form trembling, pointed a clawed hand at the central hollow display in the Galactic Council chamber. Another one, the Kepler system, 3 inhabited worlds, gone. Our senses detect only absence. They are not conquering, they are erasing. Panic, a cold dread far more potent than any weapon, rippled through the assembled delegates. For millennia, the united species of the galaxy had known peace, prosperity, and predictable threats. The Void Weavers were neither predictable nor comprehensible. They were an existential horror, a cosmic black hole that devoured not just matter, but meaning. Our fleets are useless, Commander Zephyr of the Lumina Collective lamented, his bioluminescent tendrils dimming to a sickly gray. Their ships are invisible to our targeting systems, impervious to our energy weapons. It's like trying to fight a nightmare. But not everyone was consumed by despair. In a small, brightly lit command center on the edge of the known galaxy, Captain Eva Rostova stared at the same chilling hollow display. Her dark, intelligent eyes, usually alight with a fierce determination, held a flicker of something akin to awe. Eva was a legend among the human fleets, a brilliant tactician known for her audacious gambits and her unwavering loyalty to her crew. Her short, dark hair framed a face that was both striking in its beauty and etched with the subtle lines of countless battles fought and won. She moved with a dancer's grace, every motion economical, purposeful. "They're not just destroying, they're unmaking," Eva murmured, her voice a low, melodic hum that carried surprising authority. "Their ships absorb all electromagnetic radiation. That's why our senses are blind. They're literally shadows made manifest." Her first officer, Commander Jax, a broad-shouldered man with a perpetually optimistic grin and eyes that crinkled at the corners, clapped her on the shoulder. "So, what's the plan, Captain? How do you fight a shadow?" Eva turned, a dangerous glint in her eyes. "You don't fight a shadow, Jax. You bring light, a lot of it." The Vanguard, Eva's flagship, was a sleek, predatory vessel, designed for speed and precision. Around it, the rest of her small, elite squadron, the Starfall Brigade, formed a tight, defiant formation. They were the galaxy's last line of defense, a desperate gamble against an unstoppable foe. Their mission? To engage the Void Weavers at the edge of the Andromeda Nebula, a cosmic canvas of swirling gas and nascent stars, and buy the Council time. Time for what? No one knew. The nebula was breathtaking, a riot of iridescent blues, purples, and greens, punctuated by the fiery birth of new suns. It was a place of impossible beauty, now tainted by the encroaching darkness. Suddenly the stars began to wink, not one by one but in vast, terrifying swathes. The Void Weavers were here. "Captain, multiple energy absorption signatures." Jax's voice was tight. "They're appearing directly ahead. Hundreds of them." On the main view screen, the nebula itself seemed to tear open, revealing vast, abyssal shapes that drank the light from the very stars. They were immense, silent, and utterly terrifying. Eva's face hardened. "All ships full power to forward shields. Prepare for concentrated light pulse volley." Jax, target the largest anomaly. Let's see if they can swallow a sun. The Vanguard and its sister ships unleashed a blinding torrent of concentrated light, a desperate, brilliant assault against the encroaching darkness. For a fleeting moment, the Void Weavers recoiled, their shadowy forms rippling as if in pain. But it was only a moment. The light was absorbed, the shadows deepened, and they surged forward faster, more menacing than before. "Shields at 40% and failing," cried Lieutenant Anya, Eva's young, brilliant helmsman, her face pale. "They're draining our energy. We can't hold them." Eva watched as one of her sister ships, the Starlight Dancer, shimmered, its vibrant hull lights dimming, then winking out entirely, leaving only a perfect, ship-shaped void. Anya, evasive maneuvers. Jax, get a targeting lock on their core absorption field. If they're absorbing light, there has to be a saturation point. "No good, Captain," Jax roared, sweat beading on his brow. "They're too fast." "They're too many. We're being overwhelmed." Eva saw it then. A massive Void Weaver, larger than any other, was bearing down on the Vanguard, its shadowy maw opening to consume them. There was no escape, not for the Vanguard. "But perhaps—" "Jax," Eva said, her voice calm, almost serene. "You're a good man, the best. I need you to get the escape pods launched. All of them. Get everyone out." "Captain, no." Jax's eyes widened in horror. "We're not leaving you." "This is an order, Commander." Eva's voice cracked with authority. "The Vanguard is going to buy them time, a final light show. Jax, you have to get the data back to the Council. They need to know how to fight these things." "You're the only one who can do it." Jax hesitated, his face a mask of agony. He knew, he understood. He was a soldier and he loved his captain more than life itself. "Aye, Captain," he choked out, his voice thick with unshed tears. "See you on the other side." He turned, barking orders, his broad back a shield for the fleeing crew. Eva watched him go, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. She then turned her attention to the main controls. "Anya, get off this bridge. That's an order." Anya, tears streaming down her face, shook her head. "No, Captain, I'm staying with you to the end." Eva looked at the young woman, her heart aching. Anya was so bright, so full of life, so loyal. "Thank you, Anya," she said softly, a small, sad smile gracing her lips. "It's been an honor." Eva slammed her hand onto the self-destruct console, overriding all safety protocols. The Vanguard shuddered, its internal lights flaring a brilliant, defiant red. Full power to all reactors, overload, maximum energy output. The Void Weaver was almost upon them, its darkness reaching out like grasping tendrils. Eva and Anya stood side by side, their hands on the controls, their eyes fixed on the approaching horror. "For the galaxy," Eva whispered, a fierce joy in her voice. "For humanity," Anya echoed, her young face resolute. With a blinding flash, the Vanguard detonated, not in a conventional explosion, but in a cataclysmic burst of pure, unadulterated light. It was a nova in miniature, a defiant roar against the encroaching void. The light was so intense, so pure, that for a fleeting moment it pushed back the shadows, revealing the true, monstrous forms of the Void Weavers, their chitinous shells, and gaping maws briefly illuminated before the darkness rushed back in. Jax, watching from his escape pod, shielded his eyes, a guttural scream tearing from his throat. The Vanguard was gone, a brilliant, beautiful sacrifice, but the light had shown him something. A flicker of vulnerability in the Void Weaver's forms, a momentary hesitation. Eva had bought them time, and given them hope. Weeks later, Jack stood before the Galactic Council, his face gaunt, his eyes haunted. He recounted Eva's sacrifice, the Vanguard's final, defiant light. He showed them the data, the fleeting glimpse of the Void Weaver's true forms, their momentary vulnerability to extreme light saturation. So they are not invincible, Prime Elder Thuron mused, his crystalline form pulsing with renewed hope. They can be harmed, but at what cost? We have lost our finest ships, our bravest commanders. We need a new strategy, Ambassador Lyra urged. One that can exploit this weakness without sacrificing entire fleets. We need a weapon of light. The Council turned to the Krill, a technologically advanced species known for their stoic demeanor and their mastery of energy manipulation. Commander Xylos, the Krill representative, a tall, elegant being with shimmering, iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the cold vacuum of space, stepped forward. The Krill Collective understands the gravity of the situation, Xylos stated, his voice a low, resonant hum. We possess the theoretical knowledge to construct a light lance, a weapon capable of generating a concentrated, sustained beam of pure photonic energy. It would be devastating to the Void Weavers, but the resources required are immense, and the energy output it would destabilize a star. We will provide whatever is necessary, Valerius boomed. No cost is too great to save the galaxy. Xylos nodded slowly. Very well, the Krill will undertake this endeavor. We will require a secure, isolated system for construction, away from any prying eyes. And we will need human assistance. Your species, Commander Jax, has shown a unique aptitude for unconventional problem-solving. Your engineers, your scientists, they will be invaluable. Jax, still reeling from Eva's loss, felt a flicker of hope. This was it, their chance for vengeance. He assembled a team of humanity's brightest and most innovative minds, including Anya, Eva's former helmsman, whose grief had solidified into a fierce, quiet determination. They traveled to the secluded Krill system, a place of stark, beautiful ice moons and swirling auroras, where the construction of the light lance began. Months passed. The Krill, under Xylos' meticulous command, worked tirelessly, their advanced technology seamlessly integrating with human ingenuity. Anya, her engineering skills blossoming under pressure, became indispensable, her sharp mind finding solutions to complex energy conduits and photonic amplification. Jax, haunted by Eva's sacrifice, pushed himself relentlessly, overseeing every detail, ensuring every component was perfect. Xylos was a demanding, yet seemingly fair partner. He admired human resilience, their boundless creativity. He spoke of a new era of cooperation, of a galaxy united against the common foe. Jax found himself trusting the Krill commander, a bond forged in the crucible of shared purpose. But as the light lance neared completion, subtle anomalies began to emerge. Energy readings from the Krill's main reactor spiked unexpectedly. Certain schematics were subtly altered, seemingly for efficiency, but with underlying implications that Anya, with her keen eye for detail, found unsettling. She brought her concerns to Jax. "Commander," Anya whispered, her voice low, as they stood in a deserted corridor of the Krill construction facility. "Something's not right. The power fluctuations in the main reactor, they don't match the light lance's energy requirements. It's like they're siphoning off excess power for something else, something massive." Jax frowned. Siphoning for what? Xylos has been nothing but cooperative. "And these schematics for the lance's targeting system," Anya continued, pulling up a holographic projection. "They've subtly altered the frequency modulator. It would still target the Void Weavers, yes, but it would also generate a secondary, low-frequency pulse. A pulse that would be harmless to the Void Weavers, but devastating to organic life forms." Jax felt a cold dread creep into his heart. Devastating how? Not immediately lethal, Anya said, her voice barely audible. But it would disrupt neural pathways, induce a coma, effectively incapacitate entire populations. Without killing them. Jax stared at her, the implications chilling him to the bone. Xylos, he wouldn't, he's an ally. Is he? Anya's eyes met his, filled with a terrible certainty. He's a Krill, and the Krill have always been expansionist. What if the Void Weavers are just a convenient excuse? What if the Light Lance isn't just a weapon against the darkness, but a tool for a new kind of conquest? A galaxy of compliant, comatose species, ripe for the taking. The betrayal hit Jax like a physical blow. Eva's sacrifice, their tireless work, all of it potentially twisted into a tool for a new, insidious tyranny. He thought of Eva, of her unwavering loyalty, her belief in humanity's best. He thought of Anya, so young, so brave, who had seen the truth. "We have to stop him," Jax said, his voice raw with fury and despair. "We have to expose him." The Krill system, once a beacon of desperate hope, now felt like a gilded cage. Jax and Anya worked in secret, gathering irrefutable evidence of Xylos's treachery. They found hidden energy conduits siphoning power to a massive, cloaked vessel under construction in a remote, asteroid-filled sector. They decrypted Krill communication logs revealing Xylos's true intentions: to use the Light Lance to incapacitate the galaxy's organic species, leaving them vulnerable to Krill domination, while the Void Weavers, unknowingly, cleared the path by consuming the unworthy worlds. The betrayal was deeper, more chilling than they had imagined. Xylos had been playing a long game, using the galactic crisis as a stepping stone to his own empire. "We have enough," Anya whispered, her face pale but resolute, as they stood before a secure comm station. "But how do we get this out? Xylos has locked down all long-range communications. He knows we are close to discovering him." Jax looked at the comm station, then at Anya. "We don't send a message, we send a messenger. And we make sure it's someone Xylos won't expect." Their plan was desperate, born of the same audacious spirit that had driven Eva Rostova. They would steal a small, fast Krill scout ship, loaded with the incriminating data, and make a suicidal run for the nearest consensus outpost. But Xylos was cunning. He had anticipated their move. As Jax and Anya approached the hangar bay, alarms blared. Krill guards, their iridescent skin shimmering menacingly, converged on their position. "Commander Jax, Lieutenant Anya. You are under arrest for treason against the Krill Collective." Xylos's voice boomed over the intercom, laced with a cold, triumphant malice. "Treason," Jax roared, drawing his plasma pistol. "You're the traitor, Xylos. You're sacrificing the galaxy for your own twisted ambition." A fierce firefight erupted. Jax fought with the desperate fury of a cornered animal, his movements fluid, precise. Anya, surprisingly agile, darted between cover, providing covering fire with a stolen energy rifle. They were outnumbered, outgunned, but fueled by the burning memory of Eva's sacrifice and the bitter taste of betrayal. They reached the scout ship, its sleek hull glinting under the emergency lights. "Get in," Jax shouted, pushing Anya inside. He laid down a final burst of suppressing fire, then dove into the cockpit, slamming the hatch shut. "Launch," Anya screamed, her hands flying across the controls. The scout ship roared to life, its engines burning bright as it shot out of the hangar bay, leaving a trail of shattered Krill fighters in its wake. But Xylos was waiting. His flagship, the Silent Blade, a massive, needle-thin vessel designed for stealth and precision, emerged from the shadows of an ice moon. The Light Lance, fully charged, glowed ominously at its bow. "Foolish humans," Xylos's voice crackled over the comms. "You cannot escape. The light lance will ensure your silence and the galaxy's obedience." "He's going to use the lance on us," Anya cried, her face a mask of terror. "At this range, it will vaporize us." Jax gripped the controls, his knuckles white. He knew this was it, but he also knew Eva, he knew humanity. They didn't give up, not ever. "Anya," Jax said, his voice calm despite the pounding in his chest. "That cloaked vessel, the one Xylos was secretly building, where is it?" Anya's eyes darted to her sensor display. It's still in the asteroid field." "He hasn't moved it yet. It's almost complete." "Perfect," Jax said, a grim smile on his face. "Xylos wants to make a statement. He wants to show the galaxy what happens when you defy him. We'll give him a statement he won't forget." He slammed the scout ship's thrusters to maximum, not towards the nearest consensus outpost, but directly towards the asteroid field, towards Xylos's hidden superweapon. "Commander, what are you doing?" Anya shrieked. "That's suicide." "No," Jax replied, his eyes fixed on the approaching asteroid field. "It's a calculated risk. Xylos won't fire the light lance at his own secret project. Not yet. He needs it, and we're going to make him choose." The silent blade pursued them relentlessly, the light lance glowing brighter, its power building. Xylos, enraged by their defiance, was moments from firing. "He's locking on," Anya cried. "He's going to fire." "Now," Jax roared. He executed a series of impossible maneuvers, weaving the small scout ship through the dense asteroid field, using the celestial debris as cover. He flew directly towards the massive, cloaked vessel, a shadowy behemoth that was Xylos's true prize. Xylos hesitated. The light lance was charged, ready to fire, but Jax was using his own superweapon as a shield. To fire the lance would destroy his years of secret work, his ultimate tool of galactic domination. "He's holding fire," Anya gasped, her eyes wide with disbelief. "He's not firing." "He's too greedy," Jax snarled. "He wants his toy more than he wants us dead." But Xylos was not without options. Krill fighters swarmed them, a desperate, last-ditch attempt to stop them before they reached the cloaked vessel. Jax fought them off, his piloting skills honed by years of combat alongside Eva. "We're almost there," Anya shouted. "Impact in 10 seconds. "Hold on," Jax yelled. He slammed the scout ship into the cloaked vessel's hull, not to destroy it, but to embed their small craft within its outer plating. The impact shook them violently, but the scout ship held. "What now, Commander?" Anya asked, dazed. "Now," Jax said, his voice grim, "we send Xylos a message he can't ignore. Anya, arm every explosive charge we have. Overload the engines. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Anya's eyes widened. "You're going to blow up his superweapon, with us inside." "It's the only way," Jax replied, his gaze fixed on the timer. "The data is already transmitted. The Council knows. This is Eva's vengeance. This is for all of us." He knew the risk. He knew the cost, but he also knew that some sacrifices were necessary, and some betrayals could not go unpunished. 50 seconds, Anya whispered, her fingers flying across the console, arming the charges. She looked at Jax, a faint, sad smile on her lips. "It's been an honor, Commander." "You too, Anya," Jax replied, his eyes filled with a fierce, quiet pride. On the silent blade, Xylos watched in horror as the human scout ship burrowed into his prize. He knew what they were doing. He knew what they intended. His ultimate weapon, his key to galactic conquest, was about to be destroyed. "Fire the lance," Xylos shrieked, his composure shattered. Destroy them, destroy it all. But it was too late. 10 seconds, Anya cried. Jax closed his eyes, a single image burning in his mind, Eva's defiant smile as the vanguard flared into a sun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With a blinding, silent flash, the cloaked vessel detonated. Not in a physical explosion, but in a cataclysmic implosion of raw, uncontrolled energy. The light lance, caught in the blast, overloaded, its immense power tearing apart the fabric of space around it. The Krill system, once a place of stark beauty, was consumed by a chaotic maelstrom of light and darkness, a monument to Xylos's greed and the humans' defiant spirit. The silent blade, caught in the periphery of the blast, was crippled, its systems failing, its hull cracking under the immense, uncontrolled energy. Xylos watched in despair as his empire, built on lies and betrayal, crumbled around him. And somewhere in the heart of the maelstrom, Jax and Anya, two small humans, had made their final, ultimate sacrifice. The aftermath was a galaxy in shock. The Krill system was a shattered ruin, a testament to the catastrophic power of the light lance unleashed without control. Xylos, captured and exposed, faced the full wrath of the Galactic Council, his betrayal a festering wound in the heart of the consensus. But the Void Weavers, deprived of their unwitting accomplice and their supply of incapacitated worlds, were now vulnerable. The data Jax and Anya had transmitted, combined with the chaotic energy signature of the Light Lance's uncontrolled detonation, provided the consensus scientists with the final piece of the puzzle. The Void Weavers could be fought. They could be defeated. It took years. Years of relentless, grueling warfare. But the galaxy, united by a common enemy and a shared understanding of betrayal, finally pushed back the darkness. The Void Weavers were eventually driven back into the cosmic abyss from which they came, leaving behind a scarred but resilient galaxy. Prime Elder Thuron, his crystalline form now radiating a somber but determined light, stood before the reconstructed Galactic Council. We owe our survival to the courage of Captain Eva Rostova, Commander Jax, and Lieutenant Anya. Their sacrifices, their unwavering loyalty, and their refusal to yield in the face of overwhelming odds, they saved us all. A memorial was erected in the heart of the Centauri Nexus, a towering spire of light dedicated to the fallen, particularly to the humans who had shown the galaxy how to fight a nightmare. Jax and Anya's names were etched beside Eva's, a testament to their ultimate sacrifice. The galaxy never forgot the Void Weavers, nor did it forget the sting of Krill betrayal. But it also never forgot the fierce, defiant light of humanity. Commander Jax's final transmission, recovered from the scout ship's black box, echoed through the memorial chamber, for the galaxy, for humanity, and for Eva. We don't give up, not ever. The words hung in the air, a bittersweet reminder of the cost of victory, the enduring pain of loss, and the unyielding strength of those who chose to stand against the darkness, even when it meant becoming a part of the light themselves. The galaxy was safe, but Eva, Jax, and Anya were gone. Their sacrifice had forged a new path for humanity, one of respect and awe among the stars, but it had come at a price that would forever echo through the vast, silent void they had fought so valiantly to protect. They built a weapon, then they blew it up. Why? 19. Betrayal in space. This light show saved us, but at what cost?